Hey everyone and welcome to yet another video. This is Thyworm and I'm going to talk a little bit about Bless Online. I have to admit, I was looking into other videos a little bit and saw quite a few good, decent things out there that I thought I might actually enjoy this game, ladies and gentlemen. So I have to admit, I jumped on the hype train, so to speak, and I'm going to discuss two things. First of all, I'm going to give you a small introduction to this game. There are plenty of videos out there that can actually tell you a lot about the game, as in depth as you would want. I'm just going to give you a short overview so you know sort of what I'm getting into, and you maybe as well if you like it. Then I'm going to discuss the package that I'm going to buy from Steam. Basically the specific premium perk points that you get when you are buying this package and what it will do for you in game. I just called it a points of interest. I found 9 things that I think you should know about this game before we start. The first thing, this is an MMO. Now you might think, yes, this is an MMO, we get that. What I mean by this is that there really are not that many MMOs out there that are sort of decent. In the, let's say, last 10 years, I played MMOs like World of Warcraft, Black Desert Online, Archage, Final Fantasy XIV, and those are somewhat okay-ish MMOs, but the MMO that I actually enjoyed the most and which I have not yet seen up to this date being, let's say, replicated by anyone else is the vanilla version of World of Warcraft. That is the kind of MMO that I really enjoyed playing. I played so much, I raided so many things over there, and that was for me just an excellent game. Sort of destroyed my life back then as well, but that was because it is such a good game. The second, it is not pay to win, or at least the developers tell us that it is not pay to win. It might very well be, but for now it is buy to play. You have to pay 30 bucks for the game, and after that it is mainly as what they call convenience. Once again, I'm actually very skeptical about this, but we'll see. I don't mind paying 40 bucks in total, but we'll get to that. 3. Taming pets. Taming pets is a pet peeve of this game. Because you can apparently tame over 660 animals. And each of those animals have their own sort of perk points, such as giving the player an experience buff and that kind of thing. 4. There are 7 races and 5 classes, but I really don't care because I'm just going to play a tank like I always do. 5. There are 7 dungeons. I do care about that because dungeons and PvE in general are the main components that I really enjoy about an MMO. So I'm gonna take my tank, whatever class or race that is going to be, run a bunch of dungeons, and 7 dungeons as a starting point is a good starting point, I feel. If you compare this to Final Fantasy, for example, there are so many dungeons in Final Fantasy XIV, but they are basically all the same. The mechanics are laughable, you just have to avoid a few red circles on the ground or other shapes on the ground, and that's basically it. You don't have to be aware of tactics whatsoever, you can just run through them, even on the hard mode and to some extent even on the extreme mode. So I really prefer quality over quantity in this case. We're about to see, and I will definitely make a video about me running through one of these dungeons. 6. It already failed in multiple regions. This game was released in Japan and in Korea and in Russia. And in all those regions it did fail to gain traction. Definitely not a good point, but it brings us to 7, which is the reworked combat. Because of all these failures, the developers reworked the combat, and apparently it is now much better than it was, so that's good for us. The disadvantage is now suddenly I have to pay 30 bucks, whereas in other regions this game is free to play. Number 8. The UI cannot be adjusted. The UI cannot be adjusted. We live in 2018 We play an MMORPG and we cannot adjust the UI. I really don't know what to say about this, so I'm not gonna say too much about it, but it's obviously horrible. Last but not least, 9. The game is hosted on a mega server with only 2 channels in the EU. This means effectively that everybody is going to be on the same server and that there are 2 instances of this server. So everyone's going to be either in channel 1 or channel 2 in the entirety of Europe. There's gonna be zones which are completely crowded with people farming probably like elite mobs or whatever kind of mobs that gives the most experience or a wanted item or something, making it virtually impossible to play during peak hours of the game. That is at least my expectation. We're about to find out relatively soon. Alright, and then we're gonna get into the premium package. And the only package I'm going to discuss is the package that I'm going to get, which is the Founders Edition Standard. What does this Founder Edition Standard offer? Well, first of all, it offers a premium mount skin for the Black Wind Caligo. I absolutely do not care about skins. Second of all, it offers a premium pet skin, the Enchanting Loroshi. Once again, I do not care. Then, it reduces the NPC equipment repair fee by 30%. I did a little bit of research and it turns out that you shouldn't use the NPCs to repair your gear regardless. So this is completely useless. Because what happens if an NPC actually does repair your gear, it loses durability. Who comes up with that mechanic, right? That's so typically Korean MMO logic that they just try to like torture you while you're actually playing a game by destroying things that you work so hard to get. BDO is a prime example of that. Fine. It also reduces some other costs such as wyvern usage. You get a free pickaxe, a free gathering bag. You add 20% more hunting experience points. And here it gets a little bit interesting. So the wyvern and the repair costs and the pickaxe and the gathering bag are apparently all super cheap. So completely useless, you could argue. And that's what I would argue in this case. However, here are other perks that I think other YouTubers are definitely overlooking. Because we're talking about 20% more hunting experience points. Now, it might be true that you only get these when you hunt specific monsters, so you probably have to kill like, I don't know, 200 squirrels, and then you get a experience bonus. But these things really add up. Like 20% every time, that is really going to be significant. Another thing is dungeon points. You're gonna get 20% more dungeon points. You're gonna be able to buy stuff with dungeon points, such as potions and that kind of thing, which will allow you, for example, maybe to level up faster or probably to do other things that are relatively useful. So also here the 20% I think is relevant. You're getting 20% more hunting gold. That is probably not so relevant because most of the time you will be making money by selling things on the auction house, not so much grinding mobs and then getting their gold. But you know, I'm not complaining about 20% extra gold. It allows you to put 5 more items on the auction house. To me that is relevant because I am in most MMOs a pretty heavy auction house user. I'm buying, I'm reselling, that kind of thing. Now here, what I heard about this game is that the auction house actually has fixed prices, so buying and reselling is going to be useless. But still, I think it's nice that if you find stuff and that you're not limited by the amount of slots you have on the auction house. So 5 extra slots for me is probably good. Another important one, in my opinion, is that it reduces the market tax, which is the auction house, by 10%. Normally, apparently, you're paying 30% of a fee whenever you sell something on the auction house, which is pretty hefty, I might add. Now this 30% is gonna drop down to 20%, and I don't think people realize how much money this is going to save you in the long run, especially if you are selling expensive items. Another interesting one is the increase of the daily activity exchange points. What is the case? You're going to be able to grind quests, right? And for those quests you will receive activity points, and those activity points you can then exchange for the in-game currency called Lumina. Now the limit is capped, so you can only, normally speaking, exchange activity points up to 50 Lumina. And then with Lumina you can buy the best stuff in-game. This is also the in-game cash currency, so you can spend real money on a bunch of Lumina. But this is the only other way to get it. A 20% increase is actually quite relevant, I would say. I'm assuming that these activity points in itself are not necessarily hard to get. They are just capping the amount of Lumina you can get from those. So by increasing the cap, I think you gain a significant advantage over people just having to buy the Lumina, or only over people that can only get 50 Lumina per day instead of you 60. I want to get to the conclusion here. After watching this video, or at least most part of it, you might think this is all really not that good. I am not super duper enthusiastic about this game, which is absolutely true, I'm not. However, when I look at the package that I would be getting, you get a 2-day head start, for example, with a founder's package. So I can start next Monday, which is, for me, it's nice. I can spend at least 1 or 2 days just playing while a lot of other people won't. Giving me a little bit of a head start, I can at least escape some of the regions, most likely. So that's a good thing, I would say. But my main point is going to be, I'm just going to spend 40 bucks on a game that is going to offer me a bunch of gameplay. What I'm going to do is just pay the 40 bucks, I play for a month. It allows me the opportunity to actually create some content on it. I will make some videos, I'll take you to a dungeon run, I'll take you to probably leveling, and I will be putting out quite a bit of content. That is at least the plan. Apart from that, I am usually enjoying MMOs. I'm enjoying the leveling process, exploring the lands, doing some quests. I'm even enjoying the grinding up to a point. And if you ever see someone named Thyworm in your MMO and this person is a tank, there is a very good chance that it's me. It might also allow me to play with some of you guys, so if you are interested, just hit me up on Steam or in game. And once again, probably Thyworm playing some tank character. So that's it basically for today. This was a short introduction video about me getting Bless Online next Monday. I am medium excited, I would say. I'm maybe more excited about the content that I can create based on this game than about the actual game itself. But we'll see. It might be a pleasant surprise and it might actually run super well. Maybe it is not that crowded as I expect it to be. And all in all, I think in general I'm just gonna have quite a bit of fun for 40 bucks. And for me, that is worth it. Guys, I'm really curious what you think about this game, if you ever heard about it or not, if you're also maybe on that same little hype train that I am on. Let me know, hit me up, drop a comment down below, and that's it. If you like the video, give me a like, and if you like the channel, just throw me a subscribe. That really helps in growing this channel. For now guys, that's it. I wish you a very good day and I will see you soon. Bye bye.